Dear God, I've been trying awful hard to make you proud of me, but it seems the harder that I try, oh, the harder it becomes, and I feel like giving up most of the time. Dear God, I've been chasing their approval and it's killing me. And I know the more I try to prove, oh, the less I have to show. And I'm stuck inside my head most of the time. But if I pray a little harder, if I follow all the rules, I wonder could I ever be enough? 'Cause I try and try just to fall back down again, and I ask myself, why do I try to chase the wind? I should lean into the mystery. Maybe hope is found in a melody. So I wanna try again. Oh, I'm gonna try again. Dear God, I hope you know how much I love you and I'm proud of you. Please believe the thoughts I have for you will never change or fade away. And when you felt like giving up, I never did. 'Cause I'm not scared of imperfections or the questions in your head. Just know that you have always been enough. 'Cause you tried and tried, and I saw you wrestle with every how, every why. I was right there listening. So just fall into the mystery, and I'll meet you here in the melody. So try just to try again. Oh, child, would you try again? My child, you can love again.
Good morning. Welcome to Crossroads, everybody. My name is Brian. I'm what's known as a senior pastor around here. And today is going to be a special day. Hey, how are you? How are you? Oh, aren't you sweet? You actually look a little high-strung to me. I'm becoming an expert now. This is the 8th one of these we have done. The 8th one of them that we have done, and we've been doing this for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years maybe. So I've probably been, I've seen probably about 20 of these so far. I've sat through all of them. I'm certainly by no means a horse expert at all, but it seems to me that this one's has more fight and spirit than the other one. So we might be in for a show today. Now, let me tell you a couple things in case you haven't been here for one of our horse weeks. First of all, this horse is obviously going, what is going on here? I've never been on a stage before. I've never seen an LED with my kinfolk on there before. But there's nothing harming this horse at all. In fact, it's louder out here than it is there. The speakers aren't pointed this direction. This horse is just fine. In fact, this horse is going to be the better for what it experiences today. This horse is going to have increased capacities today. This horse is going to be stronger as a result of today. There's a percentage of this room you're going to find yourself getting very emotional, because there's a percentage of this room that is going to find that you identify with this horse. This horse represents many of us. There was a horse yesterday that I really identified with, and I was a weeping mess because I saw myself in the horse. Todd, my friend, is a verifiable horse whisperer. He hates when I say that term. But he's going to do in an hour what if you owned this horse, it would take you a week to do. It's pretty profound. Todd clued me into the fact that a person that's on a horse, a trained horse, this is an untrained horse, unridden horse. This horse has never been ridden before. There's never been a human being on this horse. The horse has never had a saddle on its back. Once it allows somebody to have an authority position in its life, once it allows itself to be ridden, it will be unlocked. One horse with a trained rider can round up an entire herd of wild horses. This is the way God is with us. He comes and he unlocks something in us. He gives us increased capacity. He doesn't kind of clamp us down. He releases us, and it happens because he comes and he cares for us and he leads us. Todd is going to do that with this horse. Todd was a professional rider on the pro circuit. He was a bareback rider. I got to know Todd several years ago. He was on my podcast called The Aggressive Life. And then he called me sometime later and said, hey, you want to go hunting with me in Idaho? And I said, sure, I'll go hunting with you. And while we were hunting, I learned actually what he did. And I thought, what? You get on horses, never been ridden, and you connect it to who Jesus is? Wow, we need to have that at Crossroads. He said, oh, well, churches always say that, but they'll never do it because the insurance gets out of whack and people are concerned about it jumping out of the corral and hurting people and all that kind of stuff. And I said, well, we'll be here first. And so we were and have been. I don't think there's any other church that still have done it like 5 years later. A good friend of mine is doing it. He came yesterday and brought a whole bunch of people from Colorado to look and take notes, and they're doing it in August, so pretty cool. Anyway, all that to say, today is going to be a pretty cool event for us, I think. Let's welcome up on stage my friend Todd Pierce. Come on up, Todd Pierce. Come on up. No, you don't want to. There you go. He likes you. She. I keep saying he.
She's got food hanging out of her mouth, and it's embarrassing. It's like friends will tell you when you got a booger on your face. You need to be kind to her.
Now this, again, my untrained eye, she seems to have more life in her than even the one last service that was very, very lively and very intense, the last one. First couple, earlier on in the week, Todd was getting basically trained guinea pigs. They were just very small and docile.
It's easy to say that when you're sitting in the chair over there.
That is true. But she just seems like she's got a bit more...
No, she does. And so she's got an aggression to her and a confidence to her that, unfortunately for her sake, it's worked for a while because of the environment she's been into. But she's in a new environment now and going to be presented with some different things. So hopefully we can help her not to use those pushy, aggressive ways.
Yeah.
Because that gets dangerous for me.
Part of what I don't like about the size of Crossroads is that there's a percentage of people that are always paranoid about big churches, always think there's some conspiracy happening, always think there's something weird, always think that you're not really getting the full story and they're shading the truth. And so people just won't believe me when I tell you that you've never seen this horse before until just now when we came down. Mm-hmm. These are not pre-picked horses. There's an X factor here. And please know that this is legit, this is for real. And it's pretty special every time for me to watch.
Well, yeah, it is. And I'm skeptical. Like mega churches to me are like, I'm not really sure what to think about it until I came here 4 years ago. And I thought, oh, there's a tremendous value to building a place where a bunch of people can come and just worship and adore God. And you guys are doing so many other things that surround that to make it to where people are actually getting connected and learning how to be discipled and fathered and mothered and all of those things. And so I get the skepticism, but for real, yeah, I have a guy that picks the horses for me, and so I don't see him or know anything about him until I get here. And it helps me too, because otherwise I would overthink some things. And so you're going to get to
Yeah.
see what I see is my goal.
How would I interpret this horse just seems to like me? You know, she comes up, she's just breathing on me.
Well,
Is that what it is, or she's just curious, or what? Give me some horse behavior. Why is she?
okay, I didn't notice, but notice that pile right there?
Oh, yes.
Every horse walks up and sniffs you and
Did she do it again
and
just this time?
craps.
Every single.
I don't know why.
Why is that?
You must smell good. Or you smell very familiar to them. You smell like a horse.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you do your thing. Ooh, jeez.
Thanks.
Jittery.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Jittery.
All right. Let me pray before we go further.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. And also, if you want to be generous, if this moves your heart somehow, we don't pass bags at Crossroads or place. If you want to, you can go to crossroads.net/give. Crossroads.net/give. So, God, thank you for our morning. Thank you for Todd. And I pray that something really good happens in this horse's life and something happens in our life.
Yeah.
Help us to see you in ways that we may not have before. Unleash us. Get us to a better place. And I pray these things in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. I don't know how many people get permission to just be themselves, show up and just be themselves, but that's what y'all have provided for me. And this church has, it's a family. And so let's not call this the house of God. Let's call this the home of God, because people live in houses, but families live in homes. And if we're going to be like family today, gosh, we haven't done this yet, but okay, if you don't like it, you don't have to. Put your hand on somebody's shoulder or something, but I'd like us all to hold hands. And because why this matters is there's a ton of effort, there's a lot of risk on my side, there's sacrifice involved in this, and I don't want us to miss a moment. So, Father, we hold our hands simply because we just want to honor you with the idea that you wanted us to become one with you and that you wanted us to become one with each other. And as though we're sitting at a table with a meal that's being prepared before us, that we just ask you to bless these words so that they'll nourish our souls, and that everything that you have to say, we say ahead of time. Just tell me what we need to do next, and all of us to become one in Jesus' name. Amen. Oh, wow, that felt really, really good. So there's almost a danger to familiarity. It's like we take a lot of things for granted. How many of you turned on the water this morning and the water came on? You ever turned on the water faucet and the water doesn't come on? Like in Idaho, we live on a well, and in the springtime, the aquifer drops. I don't know why it's that way, but the aquifer drops and our well's not deep enough. And it's amazing how much you take for granted the fact that you can turn on a water faucet and water comes out of it. And there's 1,000 things that we all just do that. We take a lot of things for granted, and we get desensitized, and we feel entitled, like we deserve something. And I just think it's healthy for us to get to a place where we realize that, man, if it wasn't for the grace of God, I'm not really sure where our lives would be. And the fact that you're in America and you're here and that you made your way to a building, you're some of the richest people on the whole planet. And we're not going to take it for granted, right? So we're here and we're going to absorb everything that it is that God has to offer. And we have hearts that are just filled with gratitude. Okay, we're just going to let her do this because she's been around plenty of people I can see, and pretty comfortable with that. But why I said that we take things for Mr. Ed. I know. Born entertainer. I don't normally do this, but for some reason it feels like the right thing to do. I want to do something different because when I said that I get to just be me, I actually am trying to do what I would do if y'all weren't staring at me. And right now, I just don't know that it's necessary. Normally, I'll push them around the pen for a minute and try and help them see me differently than they've seen before. But for her and her level of confidence, I want to see if I can help her understand me differently in a different way than I have in the past, because I'm afraid once I upset her and don't do what she wants me to do, that she might not get over it very quickly.
Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. There's nothing worth more that'll ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living hope. Your presence, Lord, there's nothing like it.
So just so you know what she's saying, that we've gone both directions, and she had to deal with all of the lights and you people and the sound and the distraction of all of it, and I just waited for her to give her attention back to me. And she's perfectly at peace right now. She's dropping her head. She's showing me that she's actually submitting herself to me. And it's a really sacred thing when somebody submits himself to you. And especially in this thing that we call marriage, it's not very popular language that wives submit yourselves to your husbands. And I think there's a lot of reason why, because men have used that as a reason or an excuse to mean that gives you permission to dominate somebody. Her submission to me doesn't give me permission to dominate her. Her submission to me means that I've got something very, very precious that I better figure out how to steward and how to take care of and how to give her more power and more permission. And that she'll find that her with me, that she's far more than she could have ever been apart from me. And I'm more because of it as well. It's the beauty of the covenant of marriage that my wife and I, we become something that we never could have been apart from each other. And it was a really hard learning curve because that wasn't modeled to me. I could read it, but no one modeled to me how do you actually treasure something that's going to submit itself to you. And I truly married a woman that submitted herself to me. And I took advantage of that. I didn't do it on purpose, by the way. I just didn't know another way. I thought that's just how it works. And she was so gracious about it that it took some years before the top blew off that. And she's a really strong, courageous woman. So she finally let me know that it doesn't work that way. And so I hope all of you men are listening. And there's a level of confidence, like we can't do it because we feel shame or because we're being told we have to do it. We need to know what it's like to be fathered by God for us to have a level of confidence that makes it to where we actually earn the right to lead somebody. I've got two of my sons here with me. And there's a lot of things that I've taught them by just telling them what to do. And I'm like, you guys got mud in your ears or something. Because how many times have I told you not to do this or to do this? And they do it anyway, or they don't do it. But what I've found now that I've raised three sons is that I don't know how much they listened to what I was saying, but I guarantee you they were watching everything I was doing. And I see those attributes, for better or worse, being played out in them. And so the instruction is important. And if we actually have ears to hear, we can be taught verbally. But Jesus chose to do it in a different way. He modeled it. And he said, this is the way, walk in it. And then he didn't just talk about it. He showed them. He said, I've been given all authority. Everything is submitted under me. But I'm not going to use it to control people. I'm not going to let the people that are doing it in my Father's name do it anymore. They call themselves sons of God. I say you guys are orphans and you've been slaves your entire life. And they said, who are you to say that to me? Our father's Abraham. And he said, your father's Satan. Them's fighting words, man. But he loved him enough to be honest with him that you're not who you think you are. Just because you're a religious person, just because you call yourself a Christian, there's going to be mobs of people apparently that are going to come before the throne of Jesus and say, have I not done all these things in your name? Have I not given all my money to do these things? Have I not served these people? And he's, I don't even know you. All those things you did weren't even authorized. You were doing them just because it made you feel better about yourself. Wow, I'm preaching at you. Thank you. But he had such a better way. He's like, if you need to be born again, he was telling this man, he's like, you've done all the things that you know to do, and I can see what your heart is and what you really want, but you can't do it. You're going to have to be born again. And the guy he was talking to didn't get it. He's like, how am I going to be born again? I'm a man. How am I going to go back into my mom's womb? And Jesus said, everybody is born of the flesh, but everybody must be born of the Spirit and of water, and that there's a different birth, that we become sons and daughters of God. And he said that he gives us the right to become sons and daughters of God. And I want to give her the right to become something that she's never been. She's compliant. She's figured out some of the rules. And right now she's still got that hanging out of her mouth. But she's never experienced anything beyond this. So for me to become one with her, I'm going to ask her permission to do it. And she's feeling what's going on inside of me. And so just even there with her chewing and I'm squeezing on her, it's just a really good sign that she's okay with where we're at right now. May I? Okay, remember, nobody's been on her. She's never had a saddle on her. Now she's twitching like she's going to get a fly off her. And if that don't work, she's got other ways. I love you people. Thank you. Normally the applause, she doesn't know what to do with that, but she handled that brilliantly. This can be so dramatic. It can be, dangerous. It can be a lot of things. But there's an air, there's an atmosphere, there's a spirit about this home right now that's making it where everybody's got this access to the love of God, that being a son and being a daughter just feels really good right now. There's more. Your feet still move. She's like, I don't know, man. I'm 150 pounds heavier now. Yup. Wow. Remember her up here when we first got here, like just all the energy, all the what happened? It's a good question. What happened? Because she's almost out ready to go to sleep now. This should be all systems alert. Stay. I told you I was a horse trainer. What a good girl. Gosh, that was not what I expected. Yeah. You're so good. I'm going to see if I can't help her get a little bit more confidence here, because this is like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. You ever seen where people, like, someone prays for them and they fall on the ground? I've never experienced it personally, but I have people that I actually trust that happened to them. My wife is one of them. Someone's praying for her and she just literally, like, went to the ground. I'm like, oh my God, they killed her. And, that she was just the Holy Spirit just overwhelmed her, and that's what happened. I didn't do it. But very, very, very sensitive animals, very emotional. Some have a problem with this, but I would say spiritual. That there was a reason why God put them in the garden with his original intent. And, oh wow, Jesus is coming back on a white horse. I'm just saying, like, they're special. They are special. Go for it. Oh, Justin.
All my words fall short. I've got nothing new. How could I express all my gratitude? I could sing these songs as I often do, but every song must end, and you never do. So I throw up my hands and praise you again and again. And all that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much, I'm nothing else fit for a king, except for a heart singing hallelujah, hallelujah. I've got one response, I've got just one move. With my arms stretched wide, I will worship you. So I throw up my hands and praise you again and again. 'Cause all that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much, but I'm nothing else fit for a king, except for a heart singing hallelujah, hallelujah. So come on, my soul, oh, don't you get shy on me to lift up your song. 'Cause you got a lion inside of those lungs. So get up and praise the Lord. Oh, come on, my soul, so don't you get shy on me, lift up your song. 'Cause you got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Oh, come on, my soul, oh, don't you get shy on me, lift up your song. 'Cause you got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Oh, come on, my soul, don't you get shy on me, lift up your song. 'Cause you got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord.
All of her instinct, like, it's just what took over there for a second, and she's like, okay, I'm moving, but this isn't supposed to be happening. Her DNA, like it's the same way that when she came out of her mama, she actually went straight to the udders looking for some milk. Nothing had to teach her that. Nothing had to teach her to want to get me off her back. That was an instinct. So we're overriding a system right now. Literally. And the fact that I just came off when she bucked, I didn't do it on purpose. But it worked out pretty good because she didn't even realize what happened. And because all of her defense mechanisms, I don't want her to have to live in survival mode anymore. And every one of us, we've built systems to help us make sense of our lives. And there's things we've had to put our guard up, and we've had to make ourselves feel safe. Some of it, like physically, we've had to do something so that we could be safe. But so much of it is mentally and emotionally. And so as we're challenging some of our thoughts and some of the reasons that we are the way we are, some of you are struggling with fear and insecurity and doubt and anxiety. All of these symptoms of the lack of being fathered and loved in these areas of our life, that's what's being made available today. Because she's not going to spend her life going around just with the same. It's not like her past is going to continue to dictate what it is that she's going to do with herself. And she's not doing it because somebody's making her do it. She's finding the freedom in it. And it's the fruit of the tangible reality that she's having right now is that, man, there's love and joy and peace and kindness and gentleness and self-control. And it's on me. I trust it. I want it. And the instruction that comes with it, the ways that I want to continue to lead her and give her gifts, give her new ways of doing things, that her navigation system has always been either she's driven to do it because someone's making her do it, or she's drawn to it because she's hungry or has some physical impulse for it.
Don't you get shy on me, lift up your song, 'cause you got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Come on, my soul, oh, don't you get shy on me, lift up your song, 'cause you got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise. Praise you again and again, 'cause all that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much, I've nothing else fit for a king, except for a heart singing hallelujah.
It's not magic. It's an encounter. And she can't go back now. Like, she'll never be the same. And the parts of herself that she felt like she had to protect, those things that are inside of you that you're not sure if you can trust anybody with, maybe you can't trust a person with yet. But I promise you, our Papa, he is so kind. He's so gentle. He's not ashamed of you. You don't have to use the same strategies to get by. There's parts that he wants to heal in us. And this affection that she's showing me, I love it. This is me as a little boy. This is what I loved. I had a white horse named Sugar. Like, she was the safest place in the world for me. And I don't know, it's like when nobody else could get it, she did. And she carried me all over the place, and I did so many stupid things. I can't believe she still trusted me. There was this day when it's like if I pointed her towards it, we'd go for it. And as a little boy, she was so kind and so brave. So anyhow, it was springtime in Idaho, and there was this cornice that had formed, snowdrift that had formed up above our house, and it was there every year. And I was excited to get out and try some new stuff with Sugar, because I just watched a movie called Man from Snowy River. Now, I didn't grow up watching other men ride horses, so for me to watch men ride horses on TV I was like, oh my God, they can do that? I didn't know that horses could do that. And so Sugar and I, we went and started doing all sorts of stupid stuff. And so I got it in my mind that those of you that haven't seen the movie, this dude rides a horse at a full run down a mountain. And I thought, well, we can do better than that. We're going to jump the snowdrift, and we're going to run down the mountain. And Sugar was like game for it. I couldn't believe it, but we had a field up above that, up above where the snow was, and we took off running. And she did her best. She was just a little horse, and she leaped off there, and we landed downhill of the snow, and so it was muddy. So she sunk clear up to her knees, I'm sure. And anyway, by the time we landed, it was like head over heels down the hill, and should have killed both of us. And we're both laying there on the ground, and we're covered in mud. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and I was embarrassed, and I'm apologizing to her. And she just stood up, and I got on her, and we walked off like nothing ever happened. But I just really love the fact that when, even though I didn't know what I was doing, that God created ways for me to learn and to trust and to become someone that could be trustworthy to lead others. And it's been quite a journey. I think we should give her a saddle.
Praise you again and again. 'Cause all that I have is your hallelujah, hallelujah. it's not much, but I've nothing else fit for a king except for a heart singing hallelujah, all that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much, but I've nothing else fit for a king except for a heart singing hallelujah, hallelujah. I'll throw up my hands to the Lord again and again, 'cause all that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much, but I've nothing else fit for a king except for a heart singing hallelujah,
This is my son. I don't know what you put in that coffee, Brian, but I'm a mess. Some of you have got kids and they're not staying close to you and you're scared for them. I don't deserve this, like any of it. And God gave us a power and even some strategy that I would love to one day be able to talk about on what it's like to have a son that's scaring the hell out of you because of his choices. And to see what Jesus can do with someone and the restoration of relationship and the healing of family. I'm going to laugh now. Let's just laugh. He still really is laying on the floor. You awake? It is intoxicating. And I'm glad that y'all can feel it. So when you watch on the movies, there's a reason why horses buck and throw fits, and there's ropes on them, and there's a lot of force. It's just, that's the only way they know. And they're bigger than you, so you're going to have to figure out some ways to dominate them. And I used to be that guy, but I hated it because I loved animals, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And I had a friend, I trained a horse for him, and then the horse broke his daughter's arm. And so it might have been part of him bringing me a videotape on how to train horses. But it was a video by a guy named John Lyons, and it was just like a 1 hour video. It was on a VHS tape. Kids, you don't ask your mom what that is. And I watched it, and he had a round pen. And it was just very little instruction, but it was like, I got it. It just gives them some choices. You can run if you want, but when you don't want to run anymore, I've got something better for you. And that happened the same time that I got born again. And so there was a lot going on in my world, and seeing that I do have authority. I've been trusted with authority. What am I going to do to this animal and for this animal with that authority? Apparently, sedate him. But she will wake up. I don't know if she will. Like, I'm not going to force her to do anything just for Brian's. Brian loves to see me get bucked off again. So, but all that energy, all that vibrancy that you saw before we started, it's going to come back in a really childish, playful way, and she's going to carry me with it. Wow, this is where you have a big church and you have a big audience, Brian. There's going to be a lot of critics. We haven't done anything to this horse. Untouched mare. Philly, she's only 2. Never had anything on her, never been ridden, no drugs. Like all the stuff that people are like, no, something's not right. You're right. This is not normal. This is not natural. This is supernatural. And I don't know if there's people in here like me that say, like, I'm tired of just doing the natural things, doing what man can do. I want to do the things that Jesus said I can do. And there's actually healing in the room. There's supernatural things that make it to where there's stuff that I can do, but then there's stuff that I can't do. And that's for all of us. Come on, sweetie.
I wasn't made to be tending a grave. I was called by name, born and raised back to life again. I was made for more. So why would I make a bed in my shame when a fountain of grace is running my way? I know I am yours. I was made for more. I know who I am, 'cause I know who you are. The cross of salvation was only the start. And now I am chosen, free and forgiven. Oh, I have a future, and it's worth living. I wasn't made to be tending a grave. I was called by name, was born and raised back to life again. I was made for more. So why would I make a bed in my shame when a fountain of grace is running my way? I know I am yours. I So why would I make a bed in my shame when a fountain of grace is running my way? I know I am yours, and I was made for more.
I don't know what's left for us to run from. What's left for us to hide. And there's those unconfessed things. It's like you just can't bring yourself to be honest about some things that are just wrecking you inside. You thought that somehow if we keep it hidden, it's not real. We just got to get real today. And
There's a number of, I asked Todd, sometime when we were together, I said, how many of these horses do you have? You say, man, I'd just like to keep that horse. This has got to be one of those horses for you, Todd, right?
I can't hear you in here.
Oh, you can't hear me in there? See, I told you there's no speakers back there. I said, if you could keep that horse, would you take that horse?
Oh, yes, sir. I won't get on my dreaming, but I just want to take them all home with me and adopt them all and then help them become what they're supposed to become and then find families that actually know how to appreciate them. But unfortunately, I get a really sacred moment with them and they go home. But she's being well taken care of, so that's just selfish.
I mean, we've seen her literally come alive, right? Have you seen that thing? I mean, it's just like she's more content. She feels more confident. She feels more powerful. She is more powerful. She has like a great future ahead of her. And this is the way many of us are. Many of us feel like, if I really came under the authority of Jesus, I would lose my freedoms. I would lose my rights. I would lose whatever it is. And so we try to game the system. We just have just enough of God so that we don't fear going to hell maybe, or we have just enough of God that if I can't find a doctor to heal me or to fix me, then maybe I have just enough faith I'll go to somebody to pray for me. But many of us are like, man, no, I don't want to give up control to God. And the problem is the system has duped you, the system of this world that tells us you have to be your own man, your own woman. You have to not come under anybody. It keeps us from becoming powerful. It keeps us from becoming free. It keeps us from becoming light and cheerful, because we're meant to have God as our authority and our master. And look like this horse here, with somebody in control of it who loves it and wants the best for it. That's what God is for you. He loves you. He wants the best for you. He wants to go places with you. But we've got to submit. We got to do that. We're going to sing a song, all of us together, all of our campuses everywhere. And is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, can I do something else?
Yeah, sure.
I know there's just significance in us making a decision. If we just do it mentally, sometimes we feel like, well, that was just another thought. And so you might see yourself as a believer, you might see yourself as a Christian, maybe not. Maybe this is all brand new to you. But we started this thing by holding hands as a family, and we're making some decisions individually. But there's enough power over this room right now that a lot of things are going to change right now. And so if you don't know that if you haven't experienced being fathered by God, being mothered by God, this tenderness and this instruction and this empowerment. If that's new to you and you want more of that, would you stand with me? Yeah, I would say, who doesn't want more of this? I'm already standing, but I'm standing because it's an unquenchable thing. I can't get enough, and it's this paradox almost where Jesus says we've been filled with the fullness of God. How do we remain hungry? It's so cool. Like I've got the fullness of God dwelling inside of me, yet I'm still hungry. That can only happen in the kingdom. Yeah, thank you, Brian.
So we're going to sing a song together, all of our sites, sing this song, talking to God, telling we're thankful for him. And while we do that, we're going to invite all of our sites, prayer folks are to come forward. These are people who are trained. I call them prayer ninjas. They walk in prayer. God says yes to them many, many, many times. And maybe you want to get prayed for. In fact, I would encourage you to get prayed for. You've done the whole experience. You've come in, you've done the thing. Hey, one final element is go to somebody that can help you lean into God. Maybe we had a horse yesterday that had a tick on it. Maybe it was on it for like a year. The tick was like this big, and Todd plucked it off and then threw it over into that section. So if one of you gets itchy, I was like, you didn't kill the thing? He said, no. I said, that's stupid. But maybe there's something on you that it's sucking the blood out of you and you can't figure it out. Maybe you need someone to pray for you. Maybe you want to be with somebody who's going to lead you to the Father and help you pray a prayer of commitment to let Jesus in your life. Maybe you've got some other thing that's weighing you down, and they would love, love, love to pray with you. They'll be up here during our song, after our song, as people are leaving. You can come up at any moment, take advantage of them. Let's all sing this song together to God.
I know who I am, 'cause I know who you are. The cross of salvation was only the start, and now I am chosen, free and forgiven. Yeah, I have a future, it is worth the living. Let's sing it again. I know who I am, 'cause I know who you are. The cross of salvation was only the start. Well, now I am chosen, free and forgiven. Yes, I have a future, and it's worth the living. 'Cause I wasn't made to be tended in the grave. I was called by name and born and raised back to life again. Yeah, I was made for more. So why would I make a bed in my shame when a fountain of grace is running my way? I know I am yours. Yeah, I was made for more. We sing hallelujah. Hallelujah. You called out my name, so I'll sing out your praise. Hallelujah. You buried my past, and I'm not going back. Hallelujah. Come on, say that you called out my name, so I'll sing out your hallelujah. Hallelujah. You buried my past. 'cause I wasn't made to be tending the grave. I was called by name, born and raised back to life again. Yeah, I was made for more. So why would I pay a bed in my shame when a fountain of grace running my way? I know I am yours, and I was made for more.
You know, there's a. You ever hear of equine therapy? You know, horses are just very sensitive to the moment, and in equine therapy, horses can sense what the person's feeling. And I've never been through it, but people talk about it. It's kind of what's happening with this horse. I mean, let's just go back to where we were an hour ago. Do you remember? We all saw it when I touched this horse's side, how it twitched. You remember that? Oh, every muscle, everything, and no, calm, all good. It's like she's right here in the front, inviting you to experience the transformation she experienced. It's like she's right here by all the prayer, going, "Hey, this is real. I got it. You should too." That's what she's saying. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yeah. This horse the whole time, like right here, such a transformation with this horse. The only one the whole time, all week, just parked right here as an invitation. Really wild. All right, enough deep thoughts. Have a great day. We'll see you next week. Prayers up.